Joe Rogan just took a serious swipe at Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, and it's getting ugly. On a fiery episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan tore into the Hollywood power couple, and fans can't believe what they heard. Rogan is known for speaking freely, but this time he hit harder than ever. His critique of Ryan and Blake, absolutely savage. The trigger. Rogan made it crystal clear he's backing Justin Baldoni in the legal mess involving the famous pair, and his words, straight up blistering. Social media is already exploding with reactions, some even wondering if this could impact the future of Deadpool. Could Ryan's superhero legacy be on thin ice? Rogan's explosive comments have set the internet ablaze. And if this snowballs, Blake and Ryan could be facing serious fallout.
On your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they've Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you are a key part of this.
This is what you get, though. This is what you get. You're trying to ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement?
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise. The whole thing's crazy. And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need
To start, Rogan didn't pull any punches. He flat out claimed Blake and Ryan completely fumbled by going after Justin Baldoni in court. In Rogan's words, they've wrecked their own image. And let's face it, when Joe Rogan drags you, the world listens. He gave Justin serious props for refusing to back down against two of Hollywood's top-tier names, pointing out how rare it is for anyone to take on A-listers so publicly. But what really set Rogan off? The receipts. Justin has already unleashed texts, audio clips, and even dropped a full-blown website spilling the alleged truth about everything that went down. A newly surfaced text from Baldoni appears to flat-out contradict Blake Lively's account of him entering her trailer uninvited. As for Ryan Reynolds, Rogan says he's now scrambling to separate himself from the chaos, but it's way too late. For damage control, Rogan didn't hold back. He hinted that the lawsuit might not even be about the incident they're claiming. Instead, he suggested it's a strategic play, a calculated move to seize control of a film and franchise Baldoni actually owns. Rogan even went as far as saying they were exploiting the #MeToo movement as a power tactic. He compared the mess to Johnny Depp's high-profile courtroom fight, framing Baldoni as another actor battling false claims to protect his name and future. With the court date locked in for March 2026, the drama is just heating up. But Rogan didn't stop at the legal feud. He peeled back the curtain on what he says is a bigger Marvel mess. According to him, there's shady favoritism happening behind closed doors, not based on talent, but influence. Rogan alleged that some A-listers are bypassing auditions and getting handed roles like it's some kind of Marvel bottle service. He didn't say Blake or Ryan by name, but fans quickly connected the dots. Rumors have swirled that Blake's been gunning hard for a Marvel spot, pulling strings and leaning on Ryan's clout. With Ryan now deeply embedded as Deadpool, he's more than a star, he's a shot caller, but insiders say Marvel's top brass weren't thrilled with the pressure Blake's team was applying. And now that Rogan's thrown it all into the spotlight, Ryan's camp is reportedly in panic mode. Word is, Ryan even tried to reach out personally to Rogan to prevent any more dirt from dropping in future episodes. And let's be real, if this was just empty talk, why would his team be this nervous? It's screaming full-blown Hollywood power struggle. And if Rogan really has the proof, some claim he does, things could go downhill fast for Marvel's golden couple. But here's the twist. Joe Rogan doesn't cave. He's made his whole brand off being unfiltered and unapologetic. And he's not about to stop now.
Turned positive, just now. Positive for pregnancy.
I just disagree that.
What if it just happened
that
today?
You can like draw a line on when.
You can't.
Like, once
so
life
you
has
can't
begun,
do
I don't
at
think
the
you draw.
very.
And this time, Joe Rogan isn't backing down. No walk back, no update, no damage controls, just pure silence. And strangely, that only made things worse for Ryan Reynolds. Because once fans got even a hint that Ryan might be feeling the heat from Rogan's podcast, the internet did what it always does best. It started digging. People went back through every detail of Blake Lively's sudden Marvel ambitions, those long-standing rumors about secret negotiations, and Ryan's alleged behind-the-scenes involvement to boost her chances. And here's the kicker: if Ryan had stayed quiet, it probably would have passed like any other gossip cycle. But he flinched. And once he did, everyone started asking the one question that terrifies every publicist: what is he trying to cover up? For the first time in a long time, Ryan's meticulously shaped Golden Boy persona started to unravel. Then things veered sharply off course. A clip resurfaced from Rogan's show where he mockingly called Ryan a predator. Whether it was sarcasm or not didn't matter because that word hits hard. Suddenly, fans began replaying old footage, interviews, and red carpet clips, analyzing every odd comment and awkward exchange. This wasn't just about Marvel politics anymore, it had escalated into a full-on character dismantling. And while the internet was in full meltdown mode, Blake Lively stepped out solo at the A Simple Favor sequel premiere. On a normal day, no one would have blinked, but the vibe that night was undeniably strange. The energy felt flat, the reactions muted, and most noticeably, Ryan was missing. Sure, it's not his movie, people said, but let's not pretend Hollywood couples don't show up for optics, especially during scandals. His absence, coupled with the rising online storm, only made things worse. And then came the moment that changed the tone completely. A single protester showed up outside the venue, holding a sign, "Justice for Justin Baldoni," a direct shot at the lawsuit Blake's camp has been scrambling to suppress. It wasn't a sea of demonstrators, but it didn't need to be. The message was loud enough. Blake's public image isn't invincible anymore. And in the entertainment world, once that perfect exterior starts to chip, the whole facade tends to crumble. Now, on to Marvel. Word behind the scenes is that top brass aren't thrilled. Marvel's empire is built on squeaky clean appeal, and the last thing they want is messy headlines infecting their billion-dollar machine. And if history tells us anything, it's that Marvel doesn't hesitate when things get risky. Once someone becomes a liability, even fan favorites get quietly pushed out. Ryan's star power won't shield him forever. If this situation keeps gaining traction, don't be surprised if Marvel begins creating distance. But the real fallout is hitting Blake. Sources say fashion elites and brand partners are slowly stepping away. Luxury endorsements, runway and her trusted glam circlets all pulling back. And no one's saying it publicly. There's no press release, no tabloid expose, just a slow, calculated erasure. And in Hollywood, that's fatal. The emails stop, the premieres skip your name, and your industry friends suddenly lose your number. That's when you know the fall has begun. Right now, the silence around Blake and Ryan is louder than any headline. And in an industry where every smile and side-eye is strategic, that silence speaks volumes. This isn't just drama, it's a calculated unraveling. Welcome to Hollywood's final act. At this moment, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are scrambling behind the scenes like never before. The murmurs surrounding the Marvel favoritism saga weren't dying down, they were growing louder by the day. So, rather than letting the story spiral out of control, their crisis teams went into full throttle. The goal: spin distractions, control the optics, and plug every leak before reputational damage became irreversible. Blake, often praised for being a public relations mastermind, suddenly vanished from the spotlight. No social media antics, no staged paparazzi strolls, no magazine fluff pieces. And for someone who built her image on authenticity and charm, the blackout didn't read as coincidence. It felt tactical, a silence born from risk, the kind that suggests one wrong word could tip everything over. As for Ryan, he didn't disappear, but he wasn't exactly himself either. He continued his press rounds, hyping up his films and brand deals, all while steering miles clear of the Marvel drama. But the change didn't go unnoticed. That trademark wit, it felt strained. The charm, muted. Fans sensed the shift instantly. Every appearance seemed tightly choreographed. The usual strategies fell flat. Gossip sites once obsessed with Blake's fashion moments or Ryan's punchlines were now bypassing them altogether. In a last-ditch effort to regain control, Blake's camp began pushing human interest fluff stories of her resilience as a mother and her quiet grace under pressure. But none of it stuck. It all seemed overly polished, disconnected from reality. That's the brutal truth of showbiz. When a narrative overstays its welcome, it slips from your grasp entirely. Blake and Ryan were once the architects of their flawless public brand. But now, the story was being written by strangers, commentators, and even fellow celebrities. And it wasn't about their careers anymore. It was about damage control. Two once beloved figures now locked in a high-stakes attempt to dodge a scandal that just won't fade. Then came the ice out. Subtle rejections from Hollywood insiders. Collaborators stepping away. Brand endorsements hanging in limbo. The same entertainment system that once lifted them up, now slowly, subtly, pulling away. And when that pull begins, there's no Instagram post or glossy cover story that can rewind it. Once the tide turns in this town, it rarely shifts back.
Times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Thank you.
What began as faint industry whispers about Marvel, favoritism exploded into a media firestorm the moment Joe Rogan's explosive podcast clip went viral. Fans didn't just watch, they investigated. Suddenly, every Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds move was under a microscope. Old interviews resurfaced, Reddit threads reignited, and a storm of theories took over TikTok. And here's the kicker. In Hollywood, it doesn't matter if it's true, it matters what people believe. And right now, a growing crowd is convinced Blake and Ryan have been quietly gaming the system. And now it's all circling back. The fact that Ryan even made a statement speaks volumes. He's usually the guy who lets charm and clever silence steer the ship, but not this time. Not with Rogan hurling gasoline into the fire. And once the public starts to suspect you're hiding something, the fallout is already underway. Just look at the energy at Blake's sequel premiere for A Simple Favor Chili. Her castmates kept their distance like she had a PR virus. This wasn't a one-week tabloid hiccup. This was a full-blown industry freeze-out. Let's be real, Blake's star power was never built on award-winning performances. No shade, but her success has hinged on style, relatability, and being the media's golden girl. But what happens when that carefully curated image begins to crumble? Right now, all that's left is silence. And in a town that feeds on narrative, that silence feels like career quicksand. Now let's dive into the real mess, the PR war. The whispers suggest Blake's own team lit the match that torched this whole situation. It wasn't some basement troll account, it was her actual publicist dropping stories about Justin Baldoni. And instead of damaging his brand, the strategy completely boomeranged. Blake's name became the one people were dragging. That's what makes this particular fall from grace so brutal. It's not dramatic headlines with a quick recovery arc. It's a slow, awkward exit. The type where event invites stop arriving, endorsement deals disappear quietly, and Hollywood simply ghosts you. Because here's the ugly truth. This industry doesn't care about facts. It cares about leverage. And when that power fades, everything else follows. Ryan and Blake may still be all smiles at events, but behind the scenes, they're losing grip. Because in this business, the real currency isn't Famit's access. That invisible influence that gets people cast, gets bad press buried, and keeps questions from being asked. And when that starts slipping, so does your future. What's shocking isn't that they're in damage control, it's how fast everything's falling apart. One PR misfire, and suddenly, Hollywood is rewriting your ending. And this story isn't just fueled by gossips being litigated. The legal showdown between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is heating up with new filings, bizarre accusations, and now, a theory that has the internet spiraling. What if Baldoni's team is tossing Blake a lifeline? Sounds wild. But listen, some believe Justin's legal strategy is subtly redirecting the blame toward her PR handlers, specifically suggesting Blake may have been misled from the start. The theory goes that she might end up issuing a carefully worded apology, admitting she acted on misinformation and publicly firing her team. It would clear Justin and let Blake retreat with some dignity. Risky, absolutely, but it might be her only path forward. Now, here's where things get even messier. Fresh court documents just surfaced. And according to Janelle, one of Baldoni's team members, Stephanie Jones, the powerhouse PR rep at the center of Blake's image, is at the heart of the chaos. And buckle up, this woman sounds like she was ghostwriting her own scandal series. Jen claims Stephanie wasn't just repping Blake, she was allegedly overstepping in big ways. We're talking about accessing private messages, leaking sensitive info, and even consulting a psychic to predict issues within her inner circle. Yes, seriously, a psychic. That's not just PR gone rogue, it's chaos in designer heels. But it gets darker. Stephanie is accused of snooping on staff phones, feeding Blake warped info, and orchestrating a narrative that cast Justin as a threat. According to the same filings, Blake fully believed Justin was orchestrating a hit job against her. And that's not all. Jen also alleges Stephanie turned toxic within her own team, throwing around accusations like alcoholism and gambling, predicting pregnancies, and causing an internal meltdown. And then there's the social media angle. Fake burner accounts, targeted harassment, shadow trolling journalists and former clients. That's not savvy PR. That's a full-blown meltdown. If even half of these claims hold up, it shifts the entire narrative. Because now people are asking, was Blake just the face of a scandal she didn't fully understand? Was she misled, manipulated by a team that went completely off the rails? It's too soon to say. But what's clear is this, the heat has shifted. Blake and Ryan aren't the only names trending. Stephanie Jones is now front and center. And if the courts determine she crossed the line, Blake might still salvage what's left if she acts quickly. All eyes are now on the judge. But this circus is far from over. The chaos is only gaining momentum, and more receipts are sure to drop. This isn't just another celebrity spats becoming one of the most unpredictable dramas in modern Hollywood history. So the big question remains, was Blake simply a pawn in a twisted PR game? Or is she deeper in the mess than she's letting on? Drop your take in the comments, because no matter how this ends, it's clear this story is just getting started.